I'm so
Ready?
scared.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You're gonna break it!
I want to break it. Let's go do that again.
Those ladies are absolutely nuts. We had a blast last week with the Audi E-Tron and episode 9, Rise of Skywalker. But this week, we're back with the full review of Audi's new electric crossover. We're hitting the road, we're gonna check out what it's like to charge up out on our Texas highways. Of course, we'll be making sure those car seats fit, and we'll watch Casey fumble around with a stroller or two while we're at it. All of that up next on Family First Reviews. Let's go.
Let's go.
What is all of that? What is in the bag?
This is my emergency kit.
For what?
You wanted to do this trip in an electric car. This is for when we get stranded on the side of the road with no juice.
Dude, we got plenty of juice. I think we're gonna be fine. I think it's a little unnecessary and over the top.
So you didn't bring any stuff?
No, I didn't bring anything. I got my phone, I got a credit card, and I got 2 good legs. I think I'm gonna be just fine.
Fine.
Yeah.
We'll see.
You got any bottled water in there? Thanks. Flare gun?
Yeah?
All right, stop. Okay, so the first thing that we've encountered, Casey's obviously a little stressed out, and that is range anxiety.
Uh-huh.
And so we're in an electric car. We're gonna put that to the test today. So we're gonna take a little trip this afternoon, and the navigation system is telling us that is 69 miles from here. Right now we've got 144 miles on the E-Tron, and the bad news is it's all highway.
Electric cars, great in the city, the less good on the highway.
Yep. So we know we'll get there, and we do have a trick up our sleeves when we do get to destination, but this is gonna be interesting. So we're gonna test out the E-Tron, and maybe it's not such a bad idea that you brought your essentials.
You're welcome.
Okay,
I
thank
accept
you.
your apology.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Okay.
All right. Okay, everybody, we're in the E-Tron. We're rolling down the road, and normally we would start a review talking about what the car looks like on the outside, but man, the first thing that jumps out at me, at least, Casey, is how quiet it is in here.
Yep. And you got to have that in this luxury segment, right?
Yes.
So yeah, it's very quiet. You know, all that sound deadening, that's a lot of weight, and so, you know, to increase range on kind of the cheaper cars in the segment, you sacrifice some of that, but very quiet in here. And for me, this is my first experience in Audi's next gen of interior, and whoa, I am completely blown away.
This is pretty wild.
It's pretty wild. Every time I think someone else is catching up to Audi in terms of just interior design and function, they go and raise the bar, because I think you and I agree, they're kind of the bar for us.
They're definitely thought of in the industry as having the best quality interiors, the latest and greatest technology, and they have gone in a totally wild direction here with all these screens.
Ooh, the over-screening is happening, right? You can't run from it, and boy, I've got all the HVAC controls are all in the screen. There are very few buttons. We've got a volume knob, a parking camera knob, your parking brake.
That's about it.
That's about it. You know, you've got some steering wheel controls. Okay. Yeah. Your entire instrument cluster is a screen, which is pretty cool here.
I actually really like that. Of the 3 main screens that we have, I really like having my navigation up here in front of me and being able to zoom in and out of the navigation. I can actually adjust the size of the gauges, so I can make the map disappear kind of into the background, bring the gauges up, or I can flip it. I do like that.
Yeah. And Audi's done something really interesting here. So everything that is a button in the screen has a lot of the haptic feedback, and it's not just that haptic feedback buzz. you're physically kind of pressing on that screen and you can feel an actual click.
Yeah.
Which is really nice because it prevents you from clicking something when you didn't mean to, when you really just intended to scroll. It doesn't do it everywhere on the screen. It's like it knows here are the areas where they're going to be.
It knows where the buttons, yeah.
And yeah.
So if I'm clicking in here, I'm not pressing anything, but as soon as I go over here to settings, there it is. There's the click. Yeah, that is smart. Okay, so like I said earlier, we normally start the review off talking about the exterior, but I think for good reason we started here. But now let's flip back, and what do you think about how this car looks?
It's really interesting because you don't get those normal telltale signs of an electric car. It looks like standard Audi fare. You kind of notice that there's no radiator grille like you normally have to have. But other than that, it looks like a normal road-going Audi SUV, except for those gigantic orange brakes we've got up there in front.
On this Edition 1, those come in that bright orange color, and so does the E-Tron badge, sort of to set it apart. But that's it. If those weren't there, you'd have a hard time noticing that this is an electric car, except it's got aerodynamic wheels on the outside and no exhaust pipes on the rear. So that's about it. In fact, when I pulled it into the driveway this week and the wife came out and saw it, Lindsay said, that is not what I was expecting when you said it was an electric car. So very mainstream Audi. That's what we've come to expect from them, and it sort of blends right in with the Q5 and the Q7 and really even the Q8 now. Casey, let's check in real quick on range stats. So we've done about 30 miles of driving, and according to the leftover range, we've got about 120 miles, so we're right on where we thought we were going to be.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll be fine, you know. Maybe. But that brings us to driving, and you had a chance to get the car out earlier today. What were your initial impressions just on how it drives?
It was very unexpected. Not what I was thinking at all, just because my prior experience with electric cars is that they feel very electric. They're very nimble. You have that instant torque from the electric motors, and you don't get that in this car, and you don't get as heavy of that feel of regenerative braking. So, you know, at low speeds in a parking lot, one thing I tend to like about electric cars is that regenerative braking. It kind of makes the car feel easy and nimble to drive, and this thing really does feel substantial and heavy and like a car that weighs 6,000 pounds.
My impression of it is it feels very Audi-like in the way that it drives, and I think that kind of leads us into what Audi was trying to accomplish. This is their first electric car, and what traditional auto manufacturers have to do is meet expectations of a very loyal fan base. And so if somebody walks into a showroom floor and the car doesn't look, feel, drive like an Audi, you know, they're gonna go look somewhere else. And that's what Audi's done here. I think they deliberately dialed in the driving experience. So when it's sitting on the showroom floor, you walk in, you say Q5, E-Tron, Q7, Q8, which size do I want? Do I want a gas-powered engine, or do I want an electric powered car? And it really makes no difference other than what it is you want to buy. And that kind of brings us into competitors, because there aren't that many right now. By the end of 2020, there's going to be a ton. You know, BMW's coming out with their iX3 by the end of the year. That's basically an X3, just electric. Rivian, Tesla's got their Model Y, Ford's got their Mach-E. Now those play in a different segment, but they are electric crossovers. The only thing I can think of on the market today that directly competes with this is the Jaguar I-Pace, and even that is really positioned as more of a sporty car. There's not nearly as much room in the back seat. Something we haven't even talked about is the back seat. It's huge back there, so it provides a lot of room. Tesla doesn't have anything on the market that competes with this. They've got two sedans and then a 3-row SUV that's really more like a minivan. So that's not really what this is. And you know, I like the Model X. I've driven the Model X. This is much more premium and much more of a luxury experience than the Model X.
All right, so we've talked about the competitors a little bit, and we've mentioned the high cost of the car, but how much does it actually cost?
Yeah, so the entry point from Audi for the Premium Plus model is $74,100, which is a pretty penny.
It is.
You know, so you know, much more than a Q5 or even an entry-level Q7, but it comes with a lot of standard features. Now, you can jump up to a Prestige pack, which adds a bunch more, and that gets you right under 80,000, 79,000 and change. This Edition 1, when it came out, was close to 85,000. So fully loaded, it had everything on it, including some little things that you won't get on any other E-Tron. So definitely expensive, which I think really begs the question of who is buying this car and who should buy this car, because it can't be your only car in the garage if you do any kind of, you know, distance driving at all.
No, and that's a good point. I think there's been a lot of consternation about electric cars, and we've joked about the range anxiety thing. And right now, you know, the charging network just isn't there. But we think there's still a big market today to have an electric car in your garage. That's if you're a two-car family.
Right.
Sure, you want a gas car just in case you want to go on a long trip or something like that. But for every day, this is a great car to put the kids in, to stay close, you know, go get groceries, take them to school, all those things that are within your local sphere. This car does that really well with a lot of luxury and a lot of comfort.
We are looking for our charging station. I think I see it, because when we put in the home address to go back home, the car did tell us we were not going to have enough range. I think we were going to have about 10 or 15 miles left, but we're not going to chance it. We're going to stop here in this Walmart parking lot and
save our flares for another day.
Yeah, you still got enough water? Maybe?
I think so.
Okay. And we'll see how many amazing trucks parked in our electric vehicle charging lot.
Hey,
can we get there?
Can we charge?
Plug in?
Yes.
He's going that way. All right, interesting. So we have one guy parked in our charging spot with a regular vehicle, and there's another one right over there. Two of them. All right, Casey, so we're here at the Electrify America charger in Royce City out in front of the Walmart. And first thing you'll notice is we've got several parking spots here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 chargers, and currently 2 pickup trucks, an SUV, and a Model 3 that's not even plugged in. Button right there. There you go. It's a big heavy charge.
The static electricity first.
Oh, okay.
So I have to undo this.
Yep.
There we go.
Okay, we're clicked in.
It's at 42% now. We'll see how long it takes to fill up.
All right.
What do you want to do?
I've got one idea.
Whataburger?
Whataburger.
All right, let's do it. Unlock it up and we'll go.
All right, guys, we wanted to show you that you can get 2 car seats in here. We've got one pretty big rear-facing seat, got a child carrier here, got the seat set where someone 6'1" would be, and it's not an issue. So you can do that. You're not going to be able to get a third one in here because there's just not space, and there's no safety latches for the car seats. But honestly, if you've got kids this age or this size, this isn't really the kind of everyday family car for you, and I'm going to show you why in the back. Okay, so pretty good space for most people. It's pretty deep. You'll be able to get luggage, things like that in here, no problem. But if you've got little kids and you need a double stroller, this is going to fail that test pretty miserably. It's just not going to fit in here under any circumstances. And even if you don't need a double stroller, maybe you've only got one kid in a stroller, it's just the proportions aren't that great because of this kind of fastback sloping roof line. This trend really encroaches on the rear cargo area. So you know, if you're hauling kids around or you're buying big bulky things a lot because you got to have the giant pack of paper towels from Costco, and you start trying to monkey around and get big bulky things in here, you're going to end up hitting the glass a lot. So, you know, not really the car for you if this is your stage in life.
I'm just not bringing mine. So we already got the text, the 15 minutes and the car charged to 80%. Let's go check it out.
All right.
Okay, 80%, 15 minutes, 4 minutes left on the grace period before it starts charging us for sitting here in this spot. And I see all of our trucks have finally left. That's nice.
All right, guys, so you saw we had the electric charging station there at the Walmart. It took 15 minutes, charged it up to 80%, which is how the car is set up to charge right now. That got us another about 75 miles of range.
Doubled our range.
Yeah, doubled our range, so we got more than enough to get home now, so that's good.
And bonus, we got some Whataburger out of it in the 15 minutes
That's right.
that we waited, so.
Never a bad day to spend 15 minutes in a Whataburger.
Yeah, so now we've got plenty of range to get home. I think we need to go find a place to test how quick the E-Tron actually is.
Yeah, let's see what that 400 plus horsepower really feels like. All right, so we've finally found sport mode in the menus, and we're gonna see what 400 plus horsepower feels like in this car.
All right.
All right.
From a stop, we ready?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Okay.
I think we found launch
We
mode.
found launch mode.
Okay.
Okay.
Pretty quick, all the way up to 80.
Yeah. All right, so there it is. There's that instant torque that we hear about in electric cars. You know, once you get going, it doesn't feel lightning fast, but that's kind of the case with any big, heavy luxury car with a lot of horsepower.
Yep, yeah, absolutely. Big, heavy car, but it gets up and moves. And, you know, what I did there was held onto the brake, pushed the accelerator down, let it build up a little bit of boost, basically, and let off the brake, and it pushed us right back and took off. And that all-wheel drive system gripped the road, and we got moving pretty quick. Well, Casey, I think that just about does it for us with the E-Tron, a vehicle that we really like.
Yeah.
The electric future is going to be really interesting.
Very.
But thank you guys for watching. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit the notification bell. We also have some social media channels. So on Instagram, we're Family First Reviews.
Twitter, it's just Fam First Reviews.
And we even have a Facebook page out there. So appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.